Matt for AVNation.tv. We are here in the Stealth Acoustics booth at ISE 2019 in lovely Amsterdam. I'm here with Brian. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks so much for taking some time with us again. Over the years, we've talked a lot of stuff about Stealth Acoustics, but one of the things that still is just such a huge part of your business and what you're known for is your hidden in-wall speakers. So let's talk a little bit about the new X85.
So yeah, this year we really wanted to get back to the basics, so to speak, as far as our mission statement as a company, and really making that extra effort to produce the best-in-class speaker in this type of category, the invisible speaker category. And I really think we knocked it out of the park this year with the X85.
Okay.
The big differentiating factor of the X series versus a lot of our previous generations is we're now actively mechanically tuning the diaphragm of the speaker.
Really?
Yeah, so we've taken some pretty significant steps forward in being able to make the curve output of the speaker. So it's really a situation where I think our users will find that we're now at a point where we are really bridging the gap between an invisible speaker category and a traditional in-wall or in-ceiling speaker.
Let's talk about that gap a little bit, because in some people's minds it exists, in some people's minds it doesn't. How do you differentiate between, again, the differences that you get when you do an invisible speaker?
Well, in some respects, the invisible speaker actually has some advantages over a traditional speaker. For instance, the ultra-wide dispersion versus a focal beam of sound from a traditional cone-type driver or in-ceiling in-wall speaker. I mean, I'm sure you've been in those situations where you get a very bright experience standing underneath a traditional speaker and you step out underneath off axis and then suddenly you're in a dead spot. Well, with the invisible speaker, the ultra-wide dispersion really makes that a problem of the past.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, this particular category in general, has a little bit of baggage with it. Over the years, we'll be the first.
That's a nice way to put it.
We'll be the first to admit that maybe this category wasn't always the best sounding speaker.
Right.
But it really has been the mission of the president of the company, who's the designer and inventor of our particular brand of speaker. It's really been his mission to close that gap and give users an experience that is a no-sacrifice experience. And in addition to that, it's also we want to give the dealer, put them in a situation where they're not, hoping that it's going to turn out okay and that the sound is going to be adequate for the customer.
Right.
There's no qualms about using this speaker any longer and being able to match the sound of a traditional in-wall or in-ceiling speaker.
So let's talk design for a moment. When you're an integrator who maybe has not really worked with an invisible speaker before, what changes in your design philosophy? What changes in your sales philosophy? How do you approach that with the customer? Is it more advanced than just saying, I guess maybe you don't want to see speaker girls? There's got to be a better way to do that.
Well, on the sales side of the coin, from my experience, it really comes down to one question on that first walkthrough with the client, and it's, Mr. Client, do you want to see your speakers or do you not want to see your speakers? And it really is as simple as that,
Okay.
because that instantly makes them start thinking about what the options could be. The reality is that many end users don't even realize that this category exists a lot of times. So, and even interior designers and architects still don't realize that this product exists and is a viable product to replace a traditional speaker. So it really comes down to that one question on the sales side of things. Now on the design side of the coin, I love this product because it promotes the ultimate in flexibility in a speaker design, in a room design. If you have an obstacle in the ceiling or in the wall, such as HVAC or plumbing or electrical, there's absolutely no reason that you can't move that speaker slightly off symmetry, let's say, from its mate on the other
Right.
side of the room. Now, a traditional speaker, that could look pretty crazy if you've got grills in kind of weird places, but with our speaker, since there's no grill to see and the ultra-wide dispersion, you can't really pinpoint where that sound's coming from. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in design.
So last question I have for you is, because of that wide dispersion, is this something that you only ever want to use for background and just regular listening, or is it something that you can use for focused listening?
So we have a few models that are particularly designed for focused listening.
Okay.
We do promote the ultra-wide dispersion pretty much across the entire family of products, but we've learned that through special driver placement and organization of the drivers together, we can create situations where we are sending the sound out in a specific trajectory.
That's fantastic. So if people want to learn more about the X85, as well as the whole range of speakers and products that Stealth Acoustics has, where can they find that?
The best place to go is our website. It's stealthacoustics.com.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you.
Appreciate it as always. For more coverage from ISE 2019, please visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.